Okay, it's right around 8:20 p.m. on today's Wednesday, April 3rd, and it is really, really stormy outside right now. We're having a high wind advisory. It's about 38 degrees, and it's just pouring sleet and rain with really high winds. But I've had to turn on the air conditioning because there's someone smoking in the bathroom of the vacant unit located directly behind this wall. I just had a hearing, a court hearing earlier today with the landlord and their attorneys and a judge. And the property manager, Mr. Alisayev, admitted that the unit directly below mine is currently empty because the judge asked him if there were repairs to be done in this unit that were extensive, if there was an extra unit where they could move me into. And Mr. Alisayev said, yes, unit 76 directly below is empty and it has a private bathroom. So that means that none of the smoke that I'm smelling right now in this corner and around my bathroom door is coming from the unit below, unless the same squatter that keeps squatting in the vacant bathroom of the unit behind this wall is also squatting in the unit below in 76, which is entirely possible because this squatter happens to be a known psychopath, according to the Boston Police Department. She is also a registered sex offender, according to the Massachusetts Sex Offender Registry, and she stalks people, according to Greenville's own staff members who informed me that this psychotic stalker who keeps smoking behind this wall tends to target people. That's a nice way of saying she's a psychotic stalker who refuses to leave people alone and has behavioral issues. So right now, I'm smelling intense amounts of cigar smoke. It smells like cigars, folks. It's not marijuana. I can tell the difference. I've been around people who smoke all kinds of things in my lifetime, and I know the difference between cigar smoke and marijuana. This is not marijuana. This is cigars. It has a really nasty, gritty, earthy kind of stench, and you can smell it all around here. And this started happening just before I went downstairs to pick up my pizzas. The reason I'm making this video is because just before I went downstairs to pick up my pizzas, there was a large group of very rowdy males loitering around the area to the doorway of this building. And when I went downstairs to pick up my pizzas from the delivery person, who was a female, they were actually harassing her. They were shouting stuff, I don't know, at her as she was standing in the doorway of this building from where they were standing around the sidewalk area across the street. So below, they were standing around right there. That's a doorway. I don't know if you can see that light right there. That's the square window to the laundry facilities. And these low-life scum, presumably who live in the building across the street, 191 Green Street, which seems to be a holding pen for a lot of psychotic male career thugs and offenders, they were shouting stuff at her while she was standing in the doorway, holding my pizzas, trying to deliver my stuff. It took me a couple minutes to get downstairs. Now that I've come back up here with my pizzas, the low-life scumbags who were screaming and shouting out on the street for the last 45 minutes now, they stopped. They're completely silent. One of them actually came into the building while I was in the stairwell, and I had to step into the hallway. He came into the building and went up to the third floor, which is right below this floor. So I keep saying that all the BLM psycho thug, sex offender, stalker trash that keeps harassing me in this building and in this, in this building lives on the third floor. The rest of them live across the street at 191 Green Street, which again is a holding pen for a bunch of sex offenders like Charles Thomas, who are career criminals and are constantly in and out of the prison system, as is Mr. Charles Thomas. But there's also a number of other scumbags like him being held across the street because they're too dysfunctional to live anywhere else, I guess. I mean, when I moved into this building complex, it was actually fairly normal, and there weren't any psycho thugs or stalkers or sex offenders. Most of the people who lived in this building had jobs. The guy who lived next door went to work every morning at 7 a.m., came back every day at 3:30. Pretty normal, I'd have to say. There was nobody living below. And the guy who lived in the bathroom on the other side of this wall, he didn't live in his bathroom. He was very quiet, and there were never any smoke odors or psychotic banging or thudding noises from the bathroom behind this wall when he lived there. But he moved out in 2013 and then was replaced with the psycho stalker turd named Jasmine Arizari, who's also a cyber criminal, according to Mr. Alisayev, who appears to be her employer, maybe. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy my pizzas. It's way too bad out there to go walking around looking for groceries. And because I can't see it would be kind of risky for me to be wandering around in the middle of a really bad windstorm and rainstorm. It looks like it's sleeting outside because you can hear the sleet against the windows. So again, I'm not sure why all the low-life scumbags who were screaming and shouting out on the street for the last 45 minutes were loitering around outside on the street when it's pouring rain and there's sleet and wind and it's about 38 degrees, but they were, which shows how psychotic they are. And I think that they were doing that because they tend to loiter around the corners of this building complex when I try to leave the building or when I try to return to the building, as I've documented multiple prior videos. And they had some kind of knowledge that I was going to have to go outside to get food this evening. So what I did was order pizza, and now they're completely silent. I mean, if they were just hanging out outside just for the fun of it, in the pouring rain and in the wind and 38-degree temperatures, then they would still be out there. But they're not. It's completely silent out there right now. There's nobody out there. They stopped screaming and shouting out on the street as soon as I went downstairs to pick up my pizzas, and then it stopped because they do it presumably to harass me when they think that I might have to go out to the grocery store or to the subway station. I keep mentioning that there are surveillance devices in this unit because people keep telling me there are surveillance devices in this unit, and confirmation of that came just a month ago when the psycho thug directly below in 76 came up to my door, blocked my access to that door, and was screaming and shouting at me about how everybody can see my nasty teeth and my hairy legs and my bad skin. Well, nobody can see that unless there's surveillance devices in this unit, because I don't go near anybody who lives in this building, and I certainly don't go near them close enough for them to see what's in my teeth. So there we go. But pizza. So this time I skipped the brownies because I still have brownies from my last pizza order, which was a few days ago. But I did get some delicious stuff anyway.